as we get to hear you on this very special topic where we discuss about the future of public relations and AI. Thank you so much. Over to our wonderful panelists. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks a lot for coming for this event and session, especially on a working day. And thanks a lot, Adgali, Bijoya, Sudhir, Sunil, Nehal, Neha, Firdaus, Kunal, and sorry if I've missed anyone. You guys are doing fantastic job for the communication industry, and today's session is a session which is to talk about AI and communication, and I'm sure in last 1 year, this particular topic has been talked about in every event, and it's going to be one of the topic in various events for another 1 year till the time we get bored or we understand AI. Right, so we have got, all my seniors, and I'll stand up and I'll slowly introduce everyone. I'll start with the lady of the panel, Vandana Sandhir. I'm sure everyone knows her. Vandana is the Chief Communication Strategy Officer for Burson. Close enough. Burson was earlier BCWA, Genesis BCW. Before that it was Genesis. And I've got a soft corner for Genesis because initial days of my career, I have worked with Genesis for almost 2 years, and if I can go back to time, I would have loved to work there for a longer time. I left early because of money, and there's a tip for everyone: don't move for money. You stick to a brand because there is always a learning. After that, Sanjeev sir, again, he heads communication for Maruti. Maruti is the biggest automobile company, and I'm sure Sanjeev sir, everyone knows, he has worked the marketing side as well as the communication side, right? And we know each other for a long time, and we bump into each other in various panels. Next to him is Manu sir. Again, Manu sir is there with Hero Electric. So it is an automobile group or something. I mean, Oh, okay. So Manu sir again is looking after marketing, digital as well as communication for Hero Electric. And again, both of us are in various panels. Next to him is Dr. Samir Kapur. Dr. Samir Kapur and me, we go long back. We started our career in 2000, yeah, from Vaishnavi. Then he was my boss in Vaishnavi. He was my boss in ESPN. Then he was my boss in Adfactors. Then I got bored of him and I left. So fond memories of him. And then Navneet Bhai. Navneet Bhai is an ex-colleague of mine from Reliance. Navneet Bhai is an ex-journalist from Times of India and Pioneer. Any other Express. So both of us used to sit in the same cubicle in Gopaldas Bhavan. Fond memories. So that's the panel, and we'll not waste much time. We'll start with Vandana. First, Vandana, just tell me one thing with this AI. Do I lose my job?
Wow, that's quite a crackling start, yeah. I must say. No, I don't think any one of us would lose our jobs if we are smart about how we leverage AI. I think time has taught us that we've had epic milestones through the human civilization, whether it was fire, the agricultural revolution, industrial revolution, closer home, we had our economic liberalization, Y2K, COVID. I think AI has been around for the longest, and what I was hoping to do today was that I think we're all bored of talking of AI as a nebulous concept. I think it's well underway, and there are some fantastic case studies of applications where we are drawing huge value as communication professionals and public relations professionals. And I think for me, the most telling things are the stories that we see around us. So, when you see headlines like this, to realize India's century, we need a new playbook, right? And I think cricket, there isn't any better, bigger movement or religion to have one of the coaches say that getting data in Indian cricket has been our biggest achievement. I think it is hands down very clear that AI is very much an integral part. And we at Burson have pivoted ourselves to be an agency which is purpose-built to create value for our clients through reputation. And we are using a suite of services to be able to identify and listen better through AI, to be able to understand the impact of messages, the risks they carry, the amplification possible, again, very smartly done to have micro experiences, to be able to understand our audiences better and really have real measurable impact in what we do as a profession so that there are no gray areas, which historically has been the bane for us as public relations people. Creativity. I think thanks to AI and technology, our creativity knows no bounds. We are no longer limited by just the traditional content writing. So I think exciting times ahead, and through the course of the discussion, I'm very excited to share some of the live examples that we are seeing in action.
I completely agree on the creativity part. I mean, especially for someone like me who comes from the Orkut age, understanding the technology is a big challenge for me, but I'm trying to understand podcast, Twitter chat and everything. And just few days back, I have created a PowerPoint presentation from AI, and I was talking with Mr. Handa also. So sir, what exactly AI means for communication or marketing?
Thank you, Bhaskar, and thank you, Vijay and team, for having me here in this panel. Vandana spoke quite a bit about artificial intelligence getting into cricket, into news. I think what we need to understand as communicators is that the I in the AI is actually the intelligence, right? Artificial intelligence. Intelligence is nothing but what makes us human. I think that's the quality which is what humans have. And if that is the ability, then AI is just an extension of that quality, to my mind. Which means that we use the intelligence to make extensions in how we work, what we do, better. So I think similarly in communications, the AI will always be a harbinger of getting in newer ways of doing things, newer ways of measuring things, newer way of creating things. I think basically taking the mundane out of regular work so that people focus on what we are strong at. Relationships, creativity, and doing the new. So I think that'll be the way forward.
So the first draft of the press release can be AI, and then it has to be checked out by a professional to make it more suitable.
No, I would say the first brief to the AI will have to be the humans.
Yeah.
You missed that step.
Yeah.
It's not that it's like value in, value out, and gigo, like we know, garbage in, garbage out. But the first thing has to be the human touch. So anything you want them to do, it's subservient. If you want them to do something, you will have to coach them to do it.
So Manu sir, I mean, you're handling marketing also, digital also. So how you were actually utilizing AI for multiple campaign of yours? Communication you all understand, but if you can share your views on marketing as well as digital side and use of AI.
Thanks, Bhaskar. So what I would like to say is, you can automate the processes, but you can't automate authenticity. So the relationship between AI and humans has to be symbiotic. So I think has been a debate that like the question you asked whether I'll have my job or not. So that has been going around. Something dramatic is going to happen. I don't think that is going to happen. Yes, what will happen is that if someone does not want to take up new technology which is coming in, then obviously you're out. That happened when computers came in many years ago. At that time also the debate was similar. So I don't think that is going to happen, and it has to be a symbiotic relationship. AI and technology can help, and it's already helping. Doing a lot of things, as he also said, the mundane stuff can be done by AI. For example, and not only mundane stuff, but very, very important, data which it can pull out is very important, because one of the issues which was there, and especially in communication, was that, how do you measure, how do you actually report, what are the sentiments which are going around? These are mundane stuff. There were some platforms which are doing it, but with AI, what is happening is that it has become, like a norm. You cannot say that I can't do that, or it is too expensive, etc. So I think, the data which it can pull out, the mundane stuff which it can do, but ultimately, the person who's managing the relationship or person who's actually, they will need to understand how to actually read the data, because that is most important. So what is also happening is that the role of a PR person or a communicator is changing, and you will have to, upskill yourself. You cannot say that, I can only write public, press releases, or I can only probably write social posts, but you'll have to start reading the data, because it can give you great insights. And with, AI can, hunt, that data which is across the platform. It's a huge thing which is happening, social media, various platforms, etc. So I think the marketers as well as communicators can actually take great help from AI or any other technology and actually, analyze it to understand the sentiments, analyze if there is a crisis brewing, analyze, what the competition is doing, talking about. So that kind of stuff is coming to you and you need to start analyzing it. So yes, people were already using chatbots. That was, I think everybody used, that's AI. So it's not something that it has just come in now. And you were already doing customer care, you were doing servicing through, automated responses, etc. So now with so much more coming in, like creative stuff, you can do regional translations quickly because personalization is the name of the game. And AI can help you do that rather than, you are sitting around and doing for 20 languages, especially in a country like India. So there are things, and we are already using those stuff because, your audience is both in the metro cities, you're also present in the north, south, east. You're also present in, rural areas. So you need to have personalization, localized language, etc. So those are things which, AI is already helping us do.
Perfect, sir. In fact, with social and digital, I think communication has gone beyond geographies and beyond time zones. So, if there is a crisis which happens in US, it can impact actually in Indian market also. Coming back to you, Dr. Samir Kapur and Navneet ji, Dr. Navneet Anand ji, can AI substitute the media relations skills we have, or for that we still need good PR guys or media relation guys? How it has impacted? First you can go, sir, then,
After. Okay. Thank you, Bhaskar. Good morning, everybody. Everybody seems to be AIing, so maybe you need to draw the attention of the audience a little, or we are getting very boring. I think this is very relevant, and as communications professionals, this is something to raise that concerns us all across the spectrum, and that is why I thought this is a relevant topic to be talking with experts here and under your moderation. Bhaskar, to answer your question that you raised with Vandana to begin with, there was a nice study by Oxford University Press about Oxford University as to which are the jobs which are likely to get affected by. So there was a ranking, and out of the 702 jobs that were listed, PR was listed at 6,334, quite down the order. And
so you're saved.
That we are safe for now. By the time I retire in a few years, I think you will be after 10 years after me. So we are safe, and as the mood here among the panelists is that it is something that is going to be very, very helpful. But there are aspects that we have grown up doing human relations. That I think AI can never replace. And that is why, and there are many other facets of public relations. We do public at GreyMatters communications, a lot of public policy campaigns. Now there are nuanced, specific research that needs to be done. I have attempted a couple of times getting the ChatGPT to respond to my queries about how the textile policy is going to be, or what was the policy like, how has been the shift from, let's say, 1990s to 2000 and so on and so forth. It has failed me miserably. And that is where I think human intervention, coming from a research background that people like me do, or Dr. Samir Kapur, I think we would always want to go back to the human side, the research side, and Google will remain relevant. Naturally, there are many things that our esteemed panelists said where automation can help, youngsters like my colleagues. If you have to make 20 tweets, same version, slightly different, you can ask the ChatGPT. But like Sanjeev said, the human intervention, or Manu sir said, the human input to the artificial intelligence is going to be very, very critical. But some aspects, thankfully, we are in safe zone that AI can never replace, including something like media relations. Sir.
So, Bhaskar, good afternoon, everyone. Just to answer your question, there will be certain jobs that will be eroded by AI. It's a matter of time. just look at 2004 calendar year and IT jobs that are getting eroded due to advent of AI. Now, if it is happening in IT, it's a matter of time that it will come to PR, right? And what we are not realizing that AI has been there. The only part is it's only version 3 and now version 4 that has actually disrupted the entire market. The world is working towards 5, 6, and 7. So 3 was only text. 4 started off and 4.0 started off with text and image. It's a matter of time that you will look at videos and other imageries where AI can listen, read, and do all of that. So, like everyone in the panel said, the regular routine work can be, of course, preempted, and the entire aspect can be put onto AI. But the relationship part, the human part of it is something that has to be worked on, which will have the human intervention. What will happen is that, let's say you are a journalist, through AI, I'll get to know what kind of stories that you've been writing. What's your stance in past on certain issues. And unlike the current way of doing media relations, that we just issue a press release and that's it, we just spray and hope that it will be pray and spray kind of a policy that we do, that will end. People will understand that this journalist is covering this sector. AI will tell who's the journalist who's doing that. They're already in the western part of the world, Makrak and others, where you can see what kind of stories have been written by people.
So basically, you are better equipped when you are approaching AI.
It will equip you better. And of course, like Vandana said, it is not going to take your job. AI will not take your job, but people who know AI will take your job.
Okay.
Right? So.
Yes, sir, please.
I just wanted to add to Dr. Kapur. You know, by the way, today or yesterday I read the headlines which says that IT jobs are springing back. I think the reality is not about losing jobs. It's about role change. I think what people need to do is skill up.
Yeah.
AI is only going to make you run faster. It is how you, or I would say, you know, which skills you pick up, or like you say, a runner would say, if I need to run the marathon, then I need to change my kids. So which kids are you going to wear? That's what is going to make the change.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
So, I mean, see, relationship is key, that we understand, and relationship is not only with media, it's also with clients, right? You know, our entire business, either from the agency side or from the corporate side, even if I'm in corporate, I have to report to my MD. It's based on relationship. I think AI can help to, you know, better it, but relationship stays still the key aspect. Now, Vandana, if you can give me any particular example of any client, any campaign, because you're handling multiple international, you know, brands. And I'm sure your exposure or your understanding or your work style will be very different from a lot of other agencies or a lot of other brands who are very India-centric. Yours is, you know, more of, you know, worldwide, you know, communication. Anything which comes to your mind, and then after that, Sanjeev sir, Manu sir, Dr. Kapur, Dr. Anand, and then I'll have another word. Yeah.
No, sure. So Bhaskar, we're still learning. There's never a perfect fit. You never know it all in this day and age. But yes, happy to share some examples so that we all can know that, as I said, it's not a concept, but very much in practice. I take you back to a time where freedom fighters and the interest in our Indian independence freedom struggle was at a high. One movie after another, very interesting storytelling. At Burson, through our sonar set of tools, we were able to pick up this trend much ahead. And it fit very well for one of our leading FMCG clients for one of their products where they were looking at a campaign that will get notice, that will get customer stickiness and loyalty, which was an extremely low-priced product. Tapping on this trend, we created an entire campaign on the interest around the little-known freedom fighters. Everybody knows the famous names, but there were so many unknown faces who had brought this movement alive. And we had recommendations around packaging where you would have a QR code on the faces of these unknown freedom fighters, and you could actually read their fantastic story and get to know what it is. And mind you, this is Gen Z and millennials. So oftentimes we have our own biases to think that they would not be interested in something that goes so far back in time, but actually on the contrary. Through our other set of decipher tools, creator tools, measurement tools, we were actually able to do a full 360 degree to see how this campaign had such a huge impact and brought the business value that the client brief was looking to address. So I think there are many, many such examples. And from a global expertise standpoint, I think for us here, what we've strengthened is our ability to listen better, to pick up trends better, and see how is it that we can have very sharp, incisive messages that are going to really move the stakeholders that we're looking at, and that too very specific, hyper-localized stakeholders. So I think that's been a fascinating journey and continues.
Thank you, Vandana, for making my task simpler, because I was going to speak most of the points that she spoke about, hyperlocal and other ones. But, you know, for us, AI really, like Manu sir said, goes back a lot in time. And I won't go very much back in time, but let's say 2015 is when I started a program called Ignition, which was nothing about but social listening and learning. So we wanted to, at that time, you know, everybody was talking about getting onto the web 2.0, 3.0, etc. But what the hell do you do in the web? Do you get lost in the maze, or do you find a path that takes you to your destination? I think that was the task that we had. Ignition helped us do exactly that. Through various tools that are there, Lokabas and other tools that are listening tools, we used to listen and gather information. What are the customers saying? What are the grievances? How can we, you know, learn from that? Are there any simile models that we could develop? And therefore have a program to take care of that. Is there a way that we can align our ORM to the CRM and take online chatter into an offline mode? So those are the things that we were doing with AI at that time. Of course, chatbots, again, Manu had spoken, was an evolution of that. Because the chatbots had to know exactly what kind of consumer response is anticipated, or why the people calling. We should have a list of 8 or 10 grievances, and they should be able to address that before the call is transferred to a telecaller. Those were things, you know, that you're doing. Today with AI, I think our whole efforts of hyper-localizing, you know, making our phygital presence, as I call it, physical and digital. Physical is the dealerships that we have where we sell the cars, or digital is the way we do it on the social media. So that phygital approach really is being based on a lot of data capturing, a lot of deep dive data mining that we do to derive information and then deliver the product or the services to the customers to delight them. So I would say in a way, customer delight or customer centricity is really evolving in that direction. Talking about future, we also know, you know, people are hearing about driverless cars, flying cars, I don't know, whatever. I keep getting these questions, so I'm trying to preempt it before Bhaskar asks it. But, you know, driverless cars, yeah, it's a future, it's possible. Today with ADAS 2, ADAS 3 at higher levels, you can actually get into that mode. But the point is, what will the human sitting inside the car do? Will he sleep? Will he while time around on the social media? Or will he think of something new? What to do next? I think that's where the question lies. That's where the human connect is about taking intelligence to the next level. So therefore I say that AI is more of an enabler that will enable us to do better, make ourselves better in future. We'll be more evolved species. I think that's what evolution is all about.
So Manu sir, especially your sector is into EV electric, right? You know, it's most talked about. Is there any way you are using AI to reach out to your customer, or understanding the customer, or maybe initiating a particular campaign, or maybe creating a narrative for the customers?
So sure, as I said that, you know, we've been using chatbots, and that has AI. The chatbots have evolved over a period of time, you know, and that is a lot of help, you know, because we do get a lot of customer requests. We also use it for education, you know, for simple things like where is your dealer? So that as fed in, it gives you that simple thing. And as Sanjeev said that, you know, if they are not satisfied, they want to take the questions forward, then it goes to our call center, etc. So, you know, starting from there, you know, one of the things is that, you know, it is giving us a lot of data now. You know, for a simple reason, EV is an evolving industry. It's a very small industry right now. And, you know, there is a lot of talk whether people will shift to it. The shift has been slow, but it's picking up now. But we get a lot of, you know, what do you like to call it, the sentiment analysis on what EV is happening. You know, there are issues with electric vehicles. It's not that, you know, everything is hunky-dory. There were battery issues, battery fires, etc. And those are very critical problems which the industry faces, and each OEM faces that. So, getting those, what's happening there, what people are talking, why are people not buying, because there is a story by any organization. People put in their comments, whether it's Instagram or Twitter, etc. And you'll get, battery hai, 30 kilometers chalegi, 40 kilometers. So there are a lot of misinformation which is going on. So what it helps us doing is that, okay, we might feel that everybody knows what electric vehicle is or how it operates after 5-6 years of being in existence, but it's still not true. So that gives us the ability to actually tailor make our creatives, our communication to the issue which the general public is talking of, my customer or potential customer is talking of. So that we are already doing it. And that has helped us a lot, because earlier we were just, saying, ye bhi kar lete hain, this also we should do, this also. Now we know what are the pain areas, what is the customer talking of, and we are actually targeting that issue upfront, Even if there's a problem, people are saying that this product or this brand of Hero Electric is not doing well because of these reasons. We are getting authentic, actually, information from the customer itself and taking that through in our, whether it's product development or any enhancement which we need to do. This information gets passed down to the R&D teams. It goes to the engineering teams also, because it's very critical for them to know that this is a specific issue which are coming. So these are things which you're already, doing it. Otherwise, on marketing, as I said, that, things like creatives, personalization, translations, etc. He talked about videos coming in. Videos are already happening, like you said, making presentations, very easy, you feed stuff and you at least get a basic draft of, so those are things which are already happening, and I think over a period of time, they will get, people will start using them.
Yeah, I think with social media, every customer has become an activist now. Everyone is a digital creator. And everyone is putting something in Instagram, in Twitter, and you never know which goes viral. So I think that is something which can be still mapped by various AI tools.
Just to add one more thing, for example, in electric vehicles, you have high-speed vehicles and low-speed vehicles in two-wheelers. Now people say low-speed vehicles is 25 kilometers and below. We might feel that, that there is no market to it, but there is a certain market which, wants to use that kind of a thing, where you don't require a license or registration number. You are doing only lesser distances are being covered. You don't want to spend double the amount. So, companies are getting that kind of data, and they can tailor make their, product strategies and brand strategies accordingly, and companies are already doing it.
So coming back to Dr. Kapur, you represent the largest PR agency and most probably working with most of the brands. So have you seen any shift from the mind shift from the client side of using AI, or अभी भी वो आपको पकड़ते हैं कि ये press release आपने ChatGPT से छापा है? I mean,
yeah, see, some of the clients do have that sensitivity around how are you using ChatGPT or AI in that matter, and plus the fact that it is open, it's still not closed, it doesn't stay within that system. You're not sure about how the data will be used later on because it gets stored. But just 2-3 points I want to talk about this, which is happening is none of us are now looking at the power that ChatGPT or AI is going to bring from a image or reputation perspective. Right now, the matrix of reputation has been Google for all its while. But I can ask a lot of audience, they've stopped using Google and they have started going directly to ChatGPT because it's giving a pinpoint answer that they want. Even Google, if you see, if you search anything on Google, you say before 2023, and look at the way Google will answer your question, and then you just ask anything on Google. Google will use Gemini to answer that particular thing in its own level, and then will go down to the website from where it has taken the sources from. So as PR, we need to see, as more and more Gen Zs and millennials start moving towards ChatGPT, the entire reputation matrix will move away from Google and will move towards ChatGPT or any other AI that emerges at that time. Just a simple one, everyone knows about the Hindenburg saga that happened in India, and one of the large brand lost a lot of market capitalization. But Google lost $120 billion after the launch of ChatGPT because their Bard was not ready when they showcased it to the media and to the analysts. So and there is both plus sides and negative sides, for anything that is going to happen. So the entire image and reputation is going to shift toward ChatGPT. The PR guys will now have to get ready for the fact that how do you use ChatGPT to ensure. So if I ask a leading entrepreneur from the same space like Manu sir is, he asked ChatGPT, who is that person? ChatGPT gave a different answer altogether. Right? And of course, it depends what is it that ChatGPT is being fed in with. So how is it that PR guys are going to use that to ensure that their reputation and their management and their image on GPT looks fine? By the way, GPT, the T transformer was made by Google, but was used by AI, that is OpenAI. So any technology can move from point A to point B seamlessly, but for us, it is important to understand how to use that technology. Some clients will have, it's like the clients which still have fascination for print media, that will continue. It's not going to go away.
सबको अपना photo अच्छा लगता है print में, हाँ. Navneet bhai, you deal with so many governments, bureaucrats. Have you seen any kind of thought process or shift? I mean, I have seen a lot of ministers are now very active in Twitter. LinkedIn is yet to reach there, but Twitter, yes. But आपने देखा है कि इस तरह से कोई भी mind shift हुआ है कि they are accepting, AI, they are talking about AI, they are talking about using AI?
Yes, in my personal engagements with political leaders and also bureaucracy, I find that a segment of it is certainly getting very receptive and trying to adapt and understand what the finer nuances are. I will slightly shift and take a little philosophical position. I wrote about 6 months ago a piece for my Times of India blog. Do not allow AI to cage your children's creativity. I'm very fond of a writer called Alvin Toffler, who wrote the famous book Future Shock. Sanjeev was mentioning about future cars and all. And he said 54 years ago in 1970 that future has a way of overwhelming ourselves. My worry when I work with a lot of youngsters, when they are getting too hooked to AI, including in PR and anywhere else, my son who is doing law at National Law University, Jodhpur, I keep warning him that do not for your research paper get too addicted to AI. Do not stop going to library. I'll take a philosophical position thereby. I and Dr. Samir Kapur were there at an IMC interview panel a few days ago. And the quality of students were were something that disappointed us both. We were in the same panel. So AI is great, but for AI to become great, there has to be BI. The basic intelligence has to complement AI. Then only it will make sense. And my special warning and advice and request and urge to young colleagues not to get too
carried
away by the power of AI. Thank you.
So we don't have much time. We'll just try to wrap it up. Especially, this question is especially for Vandana, Navneet ji and Samir. You have got so many people working under you. So what are the steps you are going to take for your employees to understand and be better equipped to handle AI in their day-to-day work? And after that, Manu sir and Mr. Handa can also add on. But they have got a large workforce working under them.
Yeah, okay. So I think there are three things, Bhaskar. Upskill, upskill, upskill. I think that's really the mantra. And at Burson, we are pumping aggressively into enabling our talent and employees. And the good news is that the younger team members are actually very, very tuned to it. So it's us, and I label anyone with 2 decades and above as veterans, pardon me for that. But I think it's really for us to have an open mind and a reverse mentoring trend of sorts to really be seeing how is it that we can harness the potential that the younger talent gets and channelizes it in the right direction, because there are just so many dots. I think through our experience and the energy and creativity that the younger talent brings, what patterns do you create with these dots? I think that's the beauty and power of AI, which is just waiting for us to get more and more leverage.
Yeah, so I as you're aware, Bhaskar, that we invest heavily in L&D. Adfactors spends a lot of money in learning and development. So when AI came in, and credit goes to the founders that they got all 900 or 1,000 of employees which are client-facing to have a training in AI, specifically the ChatGPT. And the other part, Vandana that did mention about the data being used in terms of...
Are they open for the course for the ex-employees also?
Yeah, we will discuss that. Yeah, absolutely. So, Times of India, Economic Times and others all are also using AI. You will see something called a holiograph that is being used as to which news should come on which page. It's not decided only by the editor. There's an artificial intelligence that come in. It's a software called holiograph that is get used. Apart from that, of course, there are a lot of YouTubers that are using AI to tell which should be their next YouTube on. And that is something that is being used by a lot of people in that sense. So us as well as the younger resource center at Adfactors, we need to be trained about what are the changes that technology is changing. We just can't say, no, AI is, it's just a fad. It's not a fad, it's here to stay. And as more AI will come, 6, 7, 8, you will see. So we tend to underestimate what a technology can do or overestimate what a technology can do in 1 year, but we tend to underestimate what it can do in 10 years. So look at Netflix, the way they use AI. If you are an action hero, they will show a different poster to you. And if I'm more into romance, they will show same OTT with a different poster. So using AI, most of these players are now using AI to attract customers.
Samir has taken too much time. You've just got 1 minute.
Less than 1 minute. So we had a 5-day program for AI training, but and we understand that it is constantly evolving. So in June we had that 5-day program for all our co-workers for that AI training, and we are doing another one in September. And so because we realize that it is very, very important to keep updated.
Again, it's open for your friends?
Open absolutely anytime. So, but given thoda sa traditional school of thought, old school of thought, JNU wala, padhai wala, so we always say that BI, book intelligence and basic intelligence, and then AI. So that spirit and that flavor is always there in our training programs.
So we don't have much time, and I'm sorry if I'm not been able to give proper time to everyone. Any last remark by Handa sir and Manu sir?
The time's been up for a long time, and I thank you for your patience for holding us back. I just want to add a few things on AI. If this leaves an image with the audience here and my fellow panelists, I think let's go back to the time thousands of years back when the pyramids were being built. Who used to build the pyramids? Slaves who used to carry blocks right up the mount, to make the pyramid shape. Then what came in? Machines that made the task simpler. Today, your multi-storied buildings are being built faster than you think that they can be done. I think coming to AI and coming to intelligence, I had read somewhere, I don't remember the place, but today the kind of data that human race has collected over the last 20 years is larger in terms of millions and billions of zettabytes of data, is larger than the database has been collected from the time we've evolved as a human species. So what's happened in 20 years is going to be leapfrogging in the next 30 years. So the task, like Vandana rightly said, for leaving veterans like us out, I'm not veteran though, for the Gen Zs and the Alphas, you would need to know how to make intelligence that machinery or that slave that will help you make your tasks simpler and faster. That's the way forward.
Manu sir?
Just quickly, what I would like to say is that, like Sir said, that, they started training the entire workforce. So the challenge is that if you don't do that, there is a separate set of companies which are coming up which are only talking about AI. AI specific. You get hundreds of companies which have come in. And they are actually going to take that pie from agencies or corporates or whoever is working. So I think it is imperative. There is no other way out that you don't get into it. Because if you do, companies will start farming out that part of it to a separate set of, companies. So I believe that imperative for both clients as well as, advertising as well as PR and other sort of agencies already there to probably incorporate that into their arsenal. Otherwise, you will have another set of agency to probably deal with and work with,
Thanks a lot. Thanks to all my panelists, and Vijay, over to you. And I hope we've been able to wrap it up on time.
Bijoya and her team. Thank you.
Please clap loudly for this wonderful, wonderful panel. Thank you so much.